Marilyn Monroe wasn't killed by sleeping pills. She was killed by a conspiracy. We've been sold a simple story of a fragile woman to protect the powerful. The truth is, her death was the inevitable conclusion of a three-front war for control over her life. On one side, J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. On another, the Mafia, bugging her home. And on the third, the Kennedy brothers, who saw her as a liability that had to be silenced. In the center was one woman and a document that connected them all. This isn't a tragedy. This is a carefully constructed lie. Behind the silver screen glamour lies an origin story Hollywood would never script. Born Norma Jean Mortensen in 1926 California, the future sex symbol entered life abandoned. Her mentally unstable mother, Gladys Baker, deposited the 2-week-old infant with foster parents Ida and Wayne Bolander. Though raised in relative stability with foster siblings, Norma's childhood fractured when her birth mother staged a bizarre kidnapping attempt via duffel bag, followed by failed adoption petitions that permanently severed their relationship. The final rupture came at age 8, when Gladys's paranoid schizophrenia required institutionalization, leaving Norma shuttling between relatives' homes and Los Angeles orphanages. Her most stable guardian, family friend Grace Goddard, ultimately abandoned her too, relocating to West Virginia when Norma turned 15. Facing return to government institutions, the teenager made a survival pact, marrying 21-year-old neighbor James Dougherty in 1942, a union beginning with chaperone dates at 15 that transformed the high school sophomore into a child bride. This combustible mix of familial betrayal, systemic failures, and precocious sexuality would forge both Hollywood's ultimate bombshell and its most tragic icon, a trailblazer forever trapped between America's obsession with reinvention and its appetite for destruction. Amid global conflict, a future legend labored in obscurity. While husband James patrolled Pacific supply routes, 19-year-old Norma Dougherty traded domesticity for defense work at Burbank's radioplane munitions plant, spraying drone parachutes in grueling 60-hour weeks that left chemical burns on her hands. The $20 weekly wage came at personal cost. Disapproving in-laws predicted ruined beauty. Toxic fumes haunted her nightmares, yet she persisted as one of millions of Rosie the Riveters bolstering America's war machine. Fate intervened when Army photographer David Conover captured the pneumatic parts inspector mid-shift, sweat-damp curls framing what Life magazine would later call the most marketable smile since the Statue of Liberty's torch. Unbeknownst to Norma, the shoot's coordinator was future Commander-in-Chief Ronald Reagan, then an Army Air Force's motion picture officer. These frames launched her modeling career even as her marriage crumbled under studio pressures, heartbroken James returning from Okinawa to find divorce papers waiting in 1946. Marilyn Monroe's metamorphosis from munitions worker to Hollywood icon mirrored America's post-war reinvention, an alchemy of grit and glamour. Her on-set chaos, 47 takes for "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," masked volcanic insecurities, while collaborations with Wilder exposed a star weaponizing unpredictability to survive fame's glare. The orphanage survivor rehearsed existence itself, adjusting mirrors like a zoetrope figure, medicating with vodka juice cocktails, and enduring the Monroe effect, her mere presence destabilizing cinematographers' precision. Even at her zenith, she haunted acting workshops incognito, scribbling notes beside Strasberg's students while barbiturates steadied her myth. Her 1956 HUAC testimony with Arthur Miller revealed steel beneath sequins. Chain-smoking through McCarthy's Inquisition, she shielded Miller's radicalism, whispering, "I'll testify about my leftist leanings too," a gamble that drew FBI surveillance into her final years. The star's private world defied her image, a 430-book library, Ulysses, Whitman, and Einstein's portrait on her piano, betrayed intellectual hunger. Sinatra's gifted dog Mafia Honey witnessed her post-Miller isolation, a silver-framed punchline to rumors of mob ties. Monroe's tragedy crystallized in her lens relationship, the camera that minted her erased Norma Jean molecule by molecule, leaving an American Icarus melting under spotlights she'd hoped might validate her humanity. Marilyn's world smelled of bourbon and gardenias. Through my fur-blurred vision, I witnessed her orbit men like collapsing stars. DiMaggio's rage when she sang Diamonds for Soldiers instead of him. Miller's cold silences as she swallowed pills to become his proper wife. Yet DiMaggio returned, arranging her funeral roses like apology bouquets. Death couldn't dim her gravitational pull. Strangers paid fortunes to rot near her Westwood crypt. Poncher, demanding upside-down dominance. Hefner, buying eternal proximity. Fans still press lipstick kisses where her laughter once echoed. They forget how she bit first. At 27, she wrote about studio wolves trading roles for flesh. Her claws retracted until a producer groped her thigh. I swung my purse, she told me, Nembutal rattling in her palm. The Kennedy years brought darker games. Wiretaps whirred as Bobby's promises dissolved like Alka-Seltzer. That final night, she cradled the phone like a lifeline, murmuring about babies and fresh starts. The autopsy found no child, just chemicals and crushed hope. Hollywood called it suicide. I know better. She drowned in the riptide between Norma Jean and Marilyn, between wolf pack politics and a dog's unconditional love. They still dig up her bones for profit. I guard her essence, the woman who wept into my fur whispering, "You're the only one who sees me." So we're left with a choice between two Americas. One tells us a story of a tragic, fragile blonde, a cautionary tale about fame and mental health. It's a simple story, a comfortable one. The other story is the one they tried to burn. It's messier, more dangerous. It says that Marilyn Monroe was a casualty of a silent war, a war waged in the shadows between the FBI, the Mafia, and the White House. A war where a woman's life became a battlefield, and her truth was the ultimate threat. But here's the question they don't want you to ask. If the official story is true, why was there a document so dangerous someone was willing to burn it? That single question changes everything. It means the case isn't closed. It means the story isn't over, and that's where you come in. We've laid out the evidence. Now, I want you to be the jury. In the comments, I need you to answer this one question. Who do you think was most responsible for the cover-up? The FBI, the Mafia, or the Kennedys? Marilyn Monroe died haunted, yet she left an indelible mark on the world. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP-4357.